show you like and so everybody, there is no mud at the pub. Just good chat, debate, and love. There is no mud at the pub. So make sure you like and so everybody.
Hey, guys. Welcome to There Is No Mud at the Pub, episode 10. And tonight I have a couple of returning guests and one very special injured guest, and of course another injured guest as well, but he's a returning guest. Let's get Sheriff out the way. How you doing, buddy? Nice trippers behind you.
Well, you know, it's all good, mate. I've moved clubs tonight. It was the other club a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? I've moved clubs.
Yeah. A bit more up market now.
Well, yeah. It's the way I rub.
It is. Tricky, how you feeling, mate?
Oh, not too bad, mate. Nige, thanks for having me on again, mate. Sheriff, Brian, lovely to see you. Hope you're getting over your surgery, Brian, and great to see you back, mate. Great to see you back. Hello to everyone in the chat. Nice to see you all.
And we have YouTube royalty tonight with us as well. In the pub, we have Brian Daigle. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, brother. It's a pleasure to be back on your channel. I have to say, me and Mark at the bottom, there may be no mud at the pub, but it looks like there's been blood at the pub. With us at the bottom, with our sling and our... recovering from the surgery. Painful, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
That's what bouncers are for, mate.
Mate, look, I was better coming in a couple of weeks ago, and then last week with the Word Show, and I've enjoyed when I've stopped by and seen the stuff you get chatting about. So I'm looking for some light-hearted fun, and we'll definitely find it here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We will indeed. Well, we will eventually, but we are going to start with football. We always start with football, and of course, we are in a small, teeny tiny cup final on Wednesday night. So I thought we'd start talking about that. And let's start. What do you think our chances are against United? Anyone can start.
I don't mind. I'll start. I'll go first.
Go on, buddy.
I think it's going to be a tight affair, to be honest with you. I've gone that we can win it 2-1. Listen, United mentality monsters as far as winning cups are concerned. You know, it's a massive, massive game for both teams as far as winning the cup goes, but also what it brings with it. Champions League football, money into the club, hopefully. And I say this in front of Brian, but hopefully there'll be more money to transfers. They're already telling us there's not a lot there if we don't win anything, and because of our league position. So it's just a massive game for us. And for me, let's just be Tottenham. Let's have a bit of that 84 spirit when there was a few players out in that final at White Hart Lane in 84. Let's have some of that. Let's go. I don't care. Like Mark said earlier, I don't care if it's a stink fest, mate, and we win 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Just win the trophy. Let's get that out of the way. Let's just go and win it. And I'm done.
Exactly.
You know what I'll add to this? I've allowed things to get into my head. You know when people say, like, do you know what? Newcastle have won a trophy, Palace have won a trophy, your name's on the cup, you know? So I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I'm starting to think maybe there is. But then I think last season, we were told after 10 games, no team had ever not got Champions League with this start to the season. And then, hello, Spurs are here. But there's all these stats. So, you know, like when Spurs had it's lucky for the year is in one.
Yeah.
There is one stat or crazy fact that's really got into my head from the Manchester United side, and I can't shake it. The last time Manchester United won the Europa League, which was a few seasons ago, they had just sacked a Dutch FA Cup winning manager in Van Gaal and brought in a Portuguese manager in Jose Mourinho.
Mhm.
Manchester United have just sacked a Dutch winning FA Cup manager in Ten Hag and have brought in a Portuguese in Amarin. And I don't, this is so in my head. It is so in my head. The fact that we're wearing white, not green. It's like, oh, here we go. It's started. I do think we're going to win it, but I cannot get that Mourinho, that Portugal, Dutch manager, Portugal manager out my head.
Mm. Yeah, but
Yeah, I didn't realise that.
no, nor did I.
Oh, shit. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, but no, come on, Tottenham. It's got to be. We've had, 17 years now of nothing. 17 years without a trophy. Now, come on, and it's got to be our turn. You know what I mean? The sun, they always say the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. Surely this is the once in a while. Surely. You know what I mean? How many bloody finals have we been to? And you think, no, and we get let down. But the thing that I'm more worried about is Man United. They're monsters in finals. How many finals have they been? How many finals have they been in? You know, the FA Cup when they played Man City, everyone was writing them off. They reckoned City was going to win 7-0 and all this stuff. But they get it done. They got that mentality at the club. No matter how crap they are, they get the job done. And this is what I'm worried about. I am. But truly, I want it to be the stinkiest game ever. The most boring, stinky game. And we nick it in the last minute. That'd do me. I don't care. Just give me a goddamn trophy. I'm begging of them.
Do you know what it is as well? Going with what you said, Mark, and you look at it, and I think if we look at Manchester United, Tottenham, and people are hoping we play this like we did the away leg at Frankfurt, the away leg at Bodo, where we'd be a bit pragmatic, a bit disciplined, and that was away in Europe. Well, it is a game in Europe, but it's against a Premier League team.
Yeah.
It's against a Premier League team that we played 3 times and beaten. So does he go, right, this game is a one-off, we need to go back there? But the thing that gets me, mate, I'm just responding to that. That's what I meant to use, conspiracy theory, not stat or whatever. Thank you. Yeah, there's things like that. But the thing that gets me is Manchester United, like us, will go for a real dark patch in our history. But like I said, no matter what, their club is set up that winning is everything.
Yeah.
Their whole mantra and everything is we're United, we're the biggest club in the world. Yeah, we can all say we're the greatest club in the world. That is Manchester United. And you look through that team now, no matter how bad some of those players we may think they are, that first 11 that take the pitch, a majority of them would have won a trophy at club level, especially if they've been at United for the last 2 years, where they would have got. They've been terrible. They've not been brilliant for 2 years or longer. But when it came to a final, right, it's final mode. Let's get it done. And unfortunately, we don't have that. We may have the youth and the energy and all that on top of them, but even people like Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's won trophies. Harry Maguire has been in finals of Euros for England. They just know how to treat finals. I think that's a massive thing of it. If both teams turn up on the day and earn their A game, I think we win. I do think we win, but it's not. There's just so much on it, and we do know that we crack under pressure at the very big moments. So we'll have to wait and see.
Isn't the referee just saying one that refereed the Champions League final in 2019?
Oh, don't give me that.
Apparently so. Yeah, it's him.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up. You honestly.
But Adrian, has said this. It could be true. It's the year of the bird. Newcastle Magpie, Liverpool Liverbird, Palace Eagle, Spurs Cockerel.
Well, it's what I said at the
Maybe.
beginning, wasn't it? When I said when all these teams are doing it, and it's like Tottenham to complete the set, you're like, oh yeah.
Hang on, Tottenham's here. Yeah, thank you.
I'll also add that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, so it is seeming to be a bird-orientated sports year. Let's just hope it stays the same. We were saying this Wednesday night.
Let's hope the Blue Jays win the bloody
I couldn't care
the
less.
bloody baseball thing, whatever it's called, World Series.
My wife has got my mother-in-law. Sorry, has gone there today, and I think we asked Alexa a little while ago, and they were like in the 4th or 5th innings, and it was 0-0, and it is the most mind-blowingly boring sport.
No, I love baseball.
Oh, can't stand it.
No. When I went to New York in 2000, I got into it. All right, there was Bud Light and Miller and a few of them other things that had an effect. But no, I don't mind baseball.
Oh, mate,
I'd love to go. When I get my ass to Canada, mate.
It's too many innings.
get Blue Jay tickets to a piece of piss like that.
Well,
Like that.
Well, if I come to Toronto in the summer, I would definitely be going to a Blue Jays game.
If you come, I'll take you to a game myself. I'll endure it for another.
You'll suffer it.
We'll go through torture for another game just to watch it with you. I'll get the tickets.
Thank you.
So, guys, what do we reckon team for United? Back five kind of picks itself, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say
Although,
pretty much
will it
11.
be Spence or?
Won't be Spence.
Oh, it won't be Spence.
Destiny and Porro, without a doubt.
Oh, okay.
I think Son will play. As long as if he plays, I think Son will play. As long as he's come out of yesterday all right, I think he's pretty much a banker for the left wing if he's fit.
I will say, first of all, Adrian, you say you couldn't want to pick a better Man United team to play in the final than the way they've been playing. I can guarantee you, every single Manchester United fan is saying that about Tottenham Hotspur. Every single one of them.
I think there's quite a few Championship teams that say that as well.
Yeah, I think guys, getting back to the team, I think he goes very, very similar to the semi-final.
Yeah,
with Bodo. I think apart from Kulusevski, I think the number 10. Oh, and Son's back, isn't it? So I think the positions are up for grabs in my. I think it's the number 10 and the left wing.
Yeah, definitely. And who plays in the 10 then? This is the big decision, isn't it? Who plays there, or does he not play with one and just bolster the midfield?
He plays with one.
I don't know.
That's what I think he'd do. Just play Sarr in now and not play with a 10.
That's if Sarr isn't injured. But do you know what? Ben, speaking to Ben and Sim have been saying it, we are Tottenham. It could be Sonny, and then he could play Solanke as a 10, but not as a playmaker, as the big man, small man, with obviously not size-wise, but kind of start with two forwards, but have Solanke doing all the hold-up play. I think that's the only option, in all honesty. As much as Odegaard may be able to do something, he needs the proper prime. When I say prime time, I mean the first team players. With all the, I mean that's what I would go for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that at all.
No. But how long have we been crying out for this? Just change, you fool. Just do something different. Like, I mean, let's face it, he's gone after this anyway, thank goodness. I've been shouting out for ages about getting rid of this bloody idiot. He is the worst manager I've seen in my 54, nearly 55 years of supporting this club, by far. And to be honest, if we win Wednesday night, it's just papering over the cracks how terrible he's been.
Oh God,
I
yeah.
mean, as I said on our show about an hour ago, right? We all said, well, I said it definitely on a couple of shows that I was on. I would, at the start of the season, I said I'd take 17th and a cup just to get a trophy. But no one in their right mind would think we'd be 17th in the league. No one in their right mind would think that. You know what I mean? But it turns out we are. Turns out we are 17th because of this foolish manager that should have been gone a year ago.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, well, he's only got to pull it out of the bag for one game, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, pull it out for this one game, then fuck off.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so enough of the United game then. Let's talk about our best cup final memory. Obviously, Mark, you're at a cup final, so do you want to talk us through that?
Which one?
How many you been to, greedy fuck?
Well, I'll go first. I don't mind.
I thought you meant which Mark, not which final. I thought you meant which Mark.
No. Cook most has been to many finals.
The best final I've been to was the 84 home leg European Cup final. It was like just a sick night, just being up in the shelf. It was mad, honestly.
You were still on the shelf, weren't you, bud?
Oh, mate, it was just amazing. It's so difficult to put into words the joy of winning a trophy on your home ground and being there. You know what I mean? It was brilliant, but I was also that was the best atmosphere by far. I was at the both the 81 and 82 finals and both replays as well. I was lucky enough to be at both of those replays as well. I was literally level with Ricky Villa. I was in the bottom of the stand at Wembley, and when he picked the ball up, he was literally like 40 yards away and level with me. And I just remember him weaving. You know what I mean? It was just mad, absolutely mad. And then obviously the cup final against QPR, Oddle's penalty in the replay. So they were my three favourites because I was younger, if that makes sense, and sort of took it all in a lot more. It was just brilliant. It was fantastic stuff. And I just hope we win. I hope we win on Wednesday night for the youngsters more than anything else. For all the people that haven't seen us win a trophy or were too young to remember us winning a trophy. You know, it'd be fantastic. It'd be fantastic for us because, you know, I'm getting on a bit anyway, you know, and you know what it's like. You get over 15, you don't know if you're going to see your team win something again. You know, but we're there. We've got half a chance. We're 50-50. We're in there with a shout, and let's hope that we can go on and win it for everyone, for all the fans, because we are, whatever our opinions, whatever people wish to believe, we all want Tottenham to win trophies. That's the name of the game at the end of the day.
Bloody right it is. Let's face it, right? We've all got different opinions, you know, on the owners, the manager, the teams, everything about the club. There's different opinions, but at the end of the day, we're all Tottenham fans. We all want our club to be successful.
Of course.
You know, it's what you are. It's what you are, you know. I mean, but it's getting a joke now that we ain't won nothing for like 17 years. I watched the FA Cup final today and seeing them Palace players walking up them steps and lifting the FA Cup. I thought, we ain't done this since I was like 20, nearly 21. And I was like, If someone had told me back then, when we won the cup in 91, I forget who lifted it, but we won't go into that. But whatever happened, if someone had told me then that you'll be in your mid-50s and you won't see Tottenham in another FA Cup final, and they wouldn't have won it either, I'd have thought they were smoking crack. Honestly, because in the 10, 11 years before that, we'd been in 4 finals and won it 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, so 34 years not to even make a final, it's not right. It ain't right. And as Tottenham fans, we must be the most that suffer. The most. You know what I mean? To have the teams that we've had, especially in the Poch era, and not to win anything is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal. Always that close. Always. We're always like that close, but never do it.
It's weird, isn't it? Because obviously we made the Champions League final in 2019. But I don't know about you guys, but I felt like our final was the semi-final. For me, that felt like we'd won.
Yeah.
You know, the final was kind of, and I know you shouldn't think like this as a fan, you know, but it did feel a little bit like, you know, we're just going to enjoy the day out, because I never expected to get there, and I never really expected us to win. But this feels different, this final, and I don't know whether it's because it's effectively the UEFA Cup, and we won that in '84, and we've won it before. When did we win it? '72 was it? We won it, something like that. But you know, it's as a European trophy, it feels like our trophy to win. So for me, this feels a little bit different.
Yeah.
When it comes to best cup final memories, 81 and 82, I was 2 and 3 year old. 84, I was 5 years old. And then there's only the 3 other ones to go for. And I will say, 91 FA Cup final, just because I just remember sitting down as a kid. It was the first cup I'd properly seen as a Spurs fan. But I watched it with my mum and my grandma and grandpa. And obviously they're not here. So to have that memory with them and see Spurs win a cup, blah, blah, blah. The 08 one was one of my last benders drinking. And that was a very, very, very good bender. That's what I'll say about that. People said to me, people say, Brian, if you could have gone to the final, would you have gone? I was like, well, I can't fly for a month anyway. I was like, no. They're like, so if you're going to watch the game, where would you have watched this game? So there's only 2 places in the world I was ever going to watch this. It would either be at the Scotland Yard with Toronto Spurs, which obviously I will be, or watch it at home with my dad. Because these kind of finals and these kind of moments, as much as I'd love to share them and be around Spurs fans and be at the game, there's nothing more that you as you go on later in life, and you're going to have those memories with your dad or your grandparent or your sons, nephews, whatever, nieces, grandparents. It's too big of a. There's nothing more I'd rather want. So yeah, I will say that the 91, because I was watching it with my grandparents, was always going to be the best cup final memory.
Yeah, right.
Brilliant.
I'm sure you all know mine. Right, I was at the 99 final when we played Leicester in the Worthington Cup, whatever it was called. I was there at Wembley for that. But my best final memory's got to be the FA Cup in 1991. It's got to be. Even though I sat there and watched the 81, 82, 87, unfortunately. But 91 for me. 91 without a shadow of doubt. As you probably all know, I've probably told this story a million times. But I'd just come out of hospital after being you're type 1 diabetic now, that's it, blah, blah, blah. Injections for the rest of your life, rah, 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 rah. And when Gary went up to get the cup that year, and the commentator said, Gary Malbert, fantastic ambassador for the sport, battled diabetes all his life. I was watching it and I thought, right, if he can do it, so can I. Because I'd only been out of hospital probably a month, 6 weeks, and I don't have a clue what was going on. Suddenly there was all this bloody, you got to inject yourself and you got to do this and do that, test your blood, and I don't have a bloody clue what was going on. You learn by what you do, you learn as you go along, If you make a mistake, you don't do that again,
Yeah.
But like when he went up there and he lifted the FA Cup, I was like, yeah, man, I can do this, I'm going to be all right, Because when they first told me off, I was dying, But when he lifted that cup, and especially them words, it's still on YouTube. I Google it regularly and just watch the last little bit when he's going up there. And when they say them words, fantastic ambassador for the game, battled diabetes, like from a young kid, I think, yeah. And that done it for me. And obviously I've met him twice, and he is literally a hero. He's my hero. Everybody knows that. Anybody who's seen me in chats knows he's my hero, just for that reason. Because basically, he sort of told me, you're going to be all right, You can do this. And I'm still here. So I've done that, right?
Indeed.
Fair play.
Indeed, mate. Okay, so here's a question. This is one of my pet peeves. Something I really hate. Is
Have
when
we
a
finished
team
with the football stuff now?
No, this is the last bit of football. It's when a team wins a cup. When a team used to win the cup back in the 80s, 90s, the captain would go up and lift the cup.
Yeah.
Now you got the captain, you got the vice captain, you got someone who's been out injured lifting the cup. They all do it together. So when Spurs win the cup Wednesday night, who lifts it? Is it going to be Sonny? Is it going to be Romero? Is it going to be Sonny and Romero? Is Madison going to get in there as well?
And Postecoglou, obviously.
Well, of course.
Or Daniel Levy.
Maybe.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you goddamn imagine?
Your head would explode, Brian.
I would make sure that I'm back for the trophy parade, just so I can get to him if he did that. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Nigel. Well, it definitely should be Romero. He's pissing off, and it's fairly clear where he lies. Yeah, it's got to be Sonny, especially Sonny has stayed loyal. Yes, he's dropped off, and I blame the club for a lot of that, because they've overplayed. I always say, and Mark will know this, Sheriff, we overplay and undervalue our players. If we have a star in one position, we'll just absolutely knacker him. We won't rest him. We won't give him time to recuperate. We will just say, if you fit, you play. Fit, you play. Fit, you play. Fit. It has to be Sonny. It has to be Sonny.
Yeah, it's got to be. After Harry and that, with the Bundesliga trophy, it's got to be. It's got to be Sonny.
Don't be surprised if it's, Sonny with Ange next to him. I win in my second season. Have some of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But Sonny's the club captain, so surely he's got to lift it for me.
Oh, I will say again with this, we won't win something in our second season. I'm sure Jose Mourinho has that stat at every single club he went to.
Yeah. Until
he came here. I'm sure Antonio Conte had that stat at every single club until he came here. We shall see. We shall see. Sonny deserves it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That is 1,000,000%.
I think it could be an emotional night, actually. Obviously, if we win, it will be. But I could see Sonny. I could almost see him lifting the cup up and crying at the same time. Because
he's had no practice. Can you see him lifting it up, dropping it, or something?
He wouldn't know what to do, would he?
No. What's this?
Like chuck it and try and keep it
up.
Wait, that's Joe. Like all these jokes are funny. Below said, "Let's just hope. Let's just hope that we finally get to see some armpits."
Yeah,
and finally get to celebrate something that has been richly deserved, and the Spurs fans deserve it. The Spurs fans deserve it. And we shall go from there. We shall go from there. But yeah, I mean, Nige, where are you? It's got to be sunny as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to see Romero near it if he's leaving. My fear is if we do win, it will be Romero and Sonny, but I'm hoping it is just Sonny.
Yep.
Just to get that iconic picture of Sonny, like with his armpits.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Kane got in there somewhere.
Well, all these comparisons. Kane's got to win his first trophy. Spurs could win their first trophy. Put it this way: if the Maple Leafs win on Sunday, if they win tomorrow, the Maple Leafs they haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. They've been flying this year. They're like 2 games, like 2 ties away from winning the Stanley Cup, but it's 3-3 in the current playoffs. It's do or die. It's roll the dice, do or die, winner takes all next game. If the Maple Leafs get through tomorrow and be like, right, so the name is on the cup. Everything's happening for the first time to end droughts. I don't even know if it's about the year of the birds. I think it's more about the year of the droughts because they're all coming to an end.
1977. 1977 or 76, all over again.
So we shall see.
We do. Okay, so we are going to stop talking football now.
The fun. Here
Football's
we
done.
The fuck was that?
Literally, it got to like 8:45, and I come off your stream, and I'm like, I literally got no questions.
That was half an hour, Nudge. That was half an hour of that. It was normally 10 minutes, right? Let's get on with it.
So, wow, it's kind of cut final, isn't it? So I've been smashing through Chat GPT to try and get some questions. And listen, they might be nuts, but let's go from. Okay, so here we go. If animals could talk, which animal would be the biggest gossip? Join in the chat, let us know.
A great question.
Goodness.
If I had a dog, it'd be my pet dog, wouldn't it? Because you create such a great bond with a dog over the years, and you know it's like looking at you, and you know when it makes its little noises and little barks, and you get used to it. You know when it's talking to you. So it's got to be a dog, isn't it?
It's only going to be a sloth, would it? Because they sleep about 23 hours a day.
Mate, by the time they got to their destination, the gossip would be worldwide news. It takes them about 3 weeks to cross the road.
Yeah.
No, do you know what? I'm thinking outside the box. I'm going to say a giraffe because they see everything.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
They will see for miles and miles. They'll know all the shit that's going down. They'll see everything. They'll see everything and then start just going, oh my God, did you see what the monkeys did? Or did you see what the lions did? I'm going giraffe. I'm thinking, what a great question, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking it'd be, when you see all these birds that like migrate and there's like hundreds of them in the sky.
Yeah.
I could just imagine 2 of them at the back just chatting away. And then the rumours start, and by the time it gets to the front, it's just like totally changed, which is always happening.
That would be the greatest version of talking telephone, wouldn't it? That's what we call Chinese whisper, talking telephone. It's or broken telephone. That would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah, have you ever been to Bristol, Nige, and seen them bloody sparrow things flying about and they do all the patterns on that?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it in Bristol. Yeah, it was famous for years. I don't know whether they still do it, but like, you know when they all like, just before as the sun's going down. Just
yeah.
They do all them pattern things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
not sure about elephant, but maybe, I don't know.
But they never forget, see?
They don't, do they?
They never forget nothing.
No, I don't even know what a kookaburra looks like.
It's one of them bird things, isn't it?
I was going to say monkeys, to be fair. But...
Yeah, Brian, can you answer the next comment down, please? This is my
What's that?
My partner's son, Michael. Yeah, I have to live with Man United fans, mate. See? Go on, give him your answer, Bri.
You deserve nothing unless you win the game for a club with a wage bill as low as yours and a club that has made the most profit in Premier League history. Why would you deserve that? What? I don't even get what he's trying to say. You deserve nothing
unless you win the game for a club with a wage bill as low as yours.
It doesn't even make sense.
The most profit in Premier League history.
Why would you deserve?
I don't know.
The
Out on the question.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, you might need to reword it because that makes absolute no sense.
I'm sure, Michael, if you're listening, reword the question, sir, because I'm not quite with it either. To be honest,
I'm guessing he's kind of saying for a club that's obviously making the most money but spending the least as far as wages goes. Why
that's what I sort of took out of that.
Say that again, Nigel.
The club that's made the most profit in the Premier League, that pay the least wages. Why does that? Why would you deserve a Premier League if you're making the most money but you're paying the least wages? I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons I hate Daniel Levy for.
Yeah,
that means why did Crystal Palace beat Manchester City today? Why did? I mean, why? It's a bit silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all on the day, isn't it? But
exactly.
It's all on the day. Let's get to another question. Okay, this might be a bit deep for people. What is the most ridiculous reason you ever ended a relationship?
Oh, please! I think Sheriff has heard this story.
Possibly.
But I will always tell it again. I had a fiance before Ilana when I lived in Israel. Now, Ilana knows, and anyone that I get with or where I work, friends, blah, 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 they know how important Spurs is to me. They know how important it is. And I have said to people, I don't miss Spurs Arsenal. I don't care. Unless there's been a death or a birth, I'm not missing Spurs. Literally, I've lost jobs. I've lost a job because of this. But as I said, I was engaged to a woman in Israel, and it was the game. Do you remember the last North London derby at Highbury when Johan Wenger had that?
Yes.
Robbie Keane scored that goal when they had a player down. Blah blah blah. Anyway, few days before that game, I said, my then fiance said to me, "So what time do we get to my mum? Because her parents lived in Israel." And I was like, "What time should we get to your parents?" I was like, "Why we go?" I was like, "Well, what we go to your parents for?" And it was the end of a Jewish festival, Passover. But after that, as the festival goes out, her stepdad, who's Moroccan, it's like a very big Moroccan Jew thing, and he was having a massive party at their house, and he was like, "We'll go to the party." I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to the Underground, which was the Spurs pub, an English pub in Elaine. I'm going to watch the North London derby. I'll come and get you. We'll go after." And she's like, no, it's going to be a whole family day. Then people coming at night. We're going for the whole day. And I was like, "We are not." She's like, I was like, "We're not." She goes, "Why?" And I said, "Spurs Arsenal." She goes, "Yeah, and I said, "I told you about this. I don't miss Spurs Arsenal." And this is when I was still drinking. And she goes, "Oh my God, but you're going to come back. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be a nightmare." I said, "Listen, I promise you, hand on heart, I'll have a few drinks. I won't be pissed because I know I'm coming to that." I probably would have got pissed, but not ridiculously off my rocker. And she's like, No. Can you block Jose out the door? Please?
Yeah, so I just saw
that. You get the idiots in. So anyway, got to it was like, listen, I'll come to the gate. I'll come to you after. Then she literally turned around to me, and she said to me, either you come to my family's house and the party and Miss Spurs Arsenal, we're still engaged, or you go watch Spurs Arsenal and we're finished. And then I turned around to her and literally said, I'm going out for a drink. Have your bag packed in 4 hours. And that was the end of my first engagement. That was it. Don't. So yeah, when it comes to most ridiculous reasons you've ended a relationship, I would say asking her to choose her over Spurs Arsenal would be a ridiculous one. Yeah.
Did we not draw that game 1-1?
Yes, we drew 1-1. Thierry
Yeah,
Henry.
so it was worth it then. It was worth it.
And the worst thing about the Zania Gate, I was in the same pub, obviously drinking up, blah, blah, blah. We're going to qualify for the Champions League. And who scored the winning goal to send us out of the Champions League? An Israeli player, Yossi Benayoun. So the whole pub was going goddamn nuts because, and I was like, oh, I need to get out of here. But yeah, beat that story.
Yeah, I'm not sure it can be beaten.
No.
Sheriff, you must have had something. Come on.
Yeah, but apart from being nagged to death, but that's going to be everyone's excuse, isn't it? You know,
Pretty normal, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty normal, but normally it's the other way around. I get booted out for playing too much golf or going fishing all the time. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. You move in with a bird, or a lady, should I say? No. And yeah, and you put everything into the house, but when you leave, you get 2 bin bags.
Always the way, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can guarantee that one of the bin bags breaks and socks are all over the pavement.
White
You
ones.
guarantee it. You virtually guarantee it that something will fall out the bin bag as you're like walking down the road.
Right. So, what's Lisa saying? Can I mention the size of us? Is it too early? No, it's absolutely not too early, Lisa. You can mention size.
I will also say as well with my story, thank God, Ilana, thank God to her. Every single, she even asked me yesterday, she goes, Brian, I want to start making plans for us to do some things. She goes, what days? She always asks me what day the fixture list comes out. She puts it in her calendar. She asked me yesterday. It's in my calendar. It's in the calendar, June the 18th. On June the 18th, out of the blue, she'll go to me. What 2 days are we doing? Absolutely nothing. Because she knows, like, not happening. But the one problem I have with it is her birthday is Halloween. And you know how you always look for Spurs Arsenal in the fixture list? The first thing I do is check October 31st or around that date and make sure it's not Arsenal. Then I look for Arsenal. Thank God it hasn't been her birthday weekend because I won't have a leg to stand on.
No, I think that's
Fingers
what
crossed it isn't this year.
I said I'll take her to the Scotland Yard for dinner. So she gets a nice meal and I get to watch the game.
Done.
Now, from what I've seen of the pictures, the breakfast. You just want to go for the breakfast, man. Jesus.
Mate, that breakfast is only... Okay, so the Scotland Yard, obviously everyone knows about the Scotland Yard. They actually open during the season for the 12:30 kickoffs, which is 7:30 a.m., obviously back here. They open the pub for us at 7 in the morning. They open it 5 hours early, especially for us. And on those games, what they do is they do that breakfast buffet because obviously the chefs haven't got time to prepare all the food. So they do a massive all-you-can-eat, bacon, sausages, pancakes, fruit, blah, blah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
What about you, Kurt? Any ridiculous reasons?
Nothing major, really. The only one that I can think of is it was when I was younger. I had a girlfriend, and I had racing greyhounds. Anyway,
Nice.
something had been planned for this certain night, but my dog was running, and that was more important to me than some bird I'd met a couple of weeks earlier. You know what I mean? So, you know, when I watch me dog run, mate, relationship over. See you later. Happy days.
Fair dues. Fair dues. Mine's not really. It's not really that bad either. Mine was I was dating a lady for probably only a couple of weeks. Hadn't actually been to her house yet. She invited me round to her mates for a Sunday dinner, and we had a Sunday dinner, and it's lovely. To be fair, this was like 30 years ago, and then she invited me back to hers.
Oh yeah.
For a bit of sheriff time, and we went to go upstairs, and I don't know whether any of you guys have ever seen it, but it was a staircase, but it was missing 2 stairs,
Right?
like in the middle. So I went up like 3 steps, and I had to jump to get to like the 5th one because the 2 stairs in the middle were missing. And that just put me
Jesus.
off. And I'm just like, how can you date a woman who's got no half a staircase?
That is a bit bizarre.
Yeah,
Bloody hell, man.
I thought so. I
Weird,
thought
that,
so.
isn't it?
Jesus. There's no way I'd have done that, mate, because I'd have been pissed and just ended up in the cupboard underneath.
Well, exactly. Walking up's fine, but walking back down later is not good.
Mate, if that had happened nowadays, you could have seen an injury claims for you
Well, yeah.
taken her to the cleaners.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's probably
Brilliant.
needed a cleaner as well, to be fair. So I got a question for Sheriff.
Oh, here we go.
Why white socks, or does any colour work?
I don't wear white socks, mate. All my socks are black. I have got a pair of white socks on the day, though. It's for like my trainer socks.
I'm not talking about the socks you wear, mate.
Yeah, it's coming to this point in the show already. Look. You want about my special sock was stuck under the bed?
Yeah.
Literally.
You always
Okay,
said
what have I walked into? What have I?
No, well, this goes on every show. It's because the first show, I think, we was talking about women and that, and was it about all the women in bands or any sort of famous people you fancy?
That's it, yeah.
And my list was about, I don't know, it was like a scroll I unwrote. All the nice women and whatever, and like, no, yeah, see, Lisa knows. And
so any colour's good.
well, it doesn't matter, does it? It's only to wipe the evidence up.
That's yeah.
See what we have to
thought.
put up with,
You know,
Brian. You see what we have to put up with, Brian, mate.
No, but I never brought this up.
We know.
That's
There's
it.
me.
That's
Do
fine.
you know what? When I've watched and seen a few of the questions, I've not seen any question related like that. I've been like, I was just like, okay.
Okay, let's get back to normal. So, if you could only speak in movie quotes for a day, what movie would it be? I know you guys aren't really movie goers.
There's 3 people here. This is the worst question ever.
No, I got mine already, mate.
Oh, Brian, have you started watching some movies?
No. I've got my favourite movie, and I use the quotes a lot of the time, mate, just because I pretty much know the movie off by heart as well. It would have to be Snatch. I'd love to go around using quotes from Snatch all day long. That would be one of the funniest days of my life. Just break off and bullets who's Tony, and oh mate, I'd love it.
Brilliant.
Right. Anything come to mind?
I would say, for me, the Rocky films.
Oh,
Nice.
The Rocky films.
Adrian.
See?
Chase the chicken.
There you go.
Not
Cheers,
choke.
Mark. Thank you.
Chase the chicken.
Get in there, Mark. Thanks, mate.
What about you, Sheriff?
I don't watch
I don't watch
films,
movies.
mate. I would have said Rocky as well, to be honest. I have seen all the Rocky films. Honestly, I ain't got one, mate. I don't really watch films. My knowledge of films is non-existent.
I would say mine would be probably one of my favourite Christmas films ever. And we were talking about earlier, just briefly,
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah, I was just going to say Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
saying
Bruce
yippee
Willis.
ki motherfucker to everyone. It's just
That's it.
would make me happy.
That would be also. Joe, I might watch this movie tonight. It's been ages since I watched it, but I love. Do you remember the basketball movie with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson? White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen that.
Oh mate, the your mum jokes and that. But I would stick with Statch for damn sure.
Okay, we're going to go back to a bit more romance now. And what is the most romantic thing you've ever done?
Bloody hell.
And let us know in the chat as well. I want to see how romantic you guys are.
I take it buying them a double vodka and saying get your tits out. Is that romance? I don't know.
I mean, maybe in your book.
I love you. I love you.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking, you know.
I love you. I love you. Honestly.
So do I now. It's such a beautiful short for a couple of days.
There's your short for you. There's your short. Whatever the best medicine, Mark, it'll be the best medicine. I've done. I am quite a romantic, especially with Alana, but I have big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. Thankfully, I grew up with and still to this day, my dad absolutely idolizes, and when I say idolize, what he is like to my mum is like literally it's the perfect blueprint to copy what he's done. I'll tell you two of the things he's done, just that he's done. They've been married, it will be 48 years June the 5th. 48 years they've been married. For 48 years, every single Friday, my mum gets a £100 bouquet of flowers.
Nice.
Every single Friday for 48 years. But then the biggest thing that he's ever done, and this is the kind of thing, my dad is even known within their friends and whatever, the gestures and things he does for my mum makes all the other guys look like absolute horrible husbands. Whatever. You know, we're back home when we have the February half term for that week off. There used to be my mum and dad and another two mums and dads that are like their best mates, and they each had two kids. So it was 3 sets of parents, 3 sets of 2 kids. And the one year we were there, it was over Valentine's weekend. And we got down to Valentine's Day. We got down for breakfast, and all the other 2 families are giving their wives Valentine's cards and husbands and a box of chocolates or whatever. And everyone's looking at my dad, and my dad's like, "Oh shit, I've forgotten. Shit, I don't know." We're all sitting here at breakfast. I'm 14 years at the time, 14 years old at the time. Just sat down for breakfast. My mum's got a face like thunder because she said, "We're just sitting there for breakfast." All of a sudden, 14 Valentine cards for my mum, just from my dad, one for every year they married. 14 dozen bouquet of roses, a gift, and then a barbershop quartet came and sang a song to my mum in front of everyone. And my dad's just sitting there like the Cheshire Cat. And the other parents are like, you've destroyed us with our card and chocolates. So that's the kind of role I follow. I haven't done anything as extravagant as that, but that's he's thankfully he is my idol, he's my hero, and I try and do things like that. I'm nowhere near his class, but that's the kind of thing I've grown up with.
I'm having a serious think now. The first one was just a bit of a
That's
joke.
hard to beat.
I agree with Lisa, though. Yes, it is. Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
Happy days. I'm gonna say,
you carry on, Cookie. I'm ready. Think of one.
I'm gonna say, me and Lisa, shortly after we met, we went to look for engagement rings. So anyway, we found one, and we haven't got married, but basically proposed to her in a shopping centre in front of a load of people. It was mad. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like one of them off the cuff things that you do. And it was, you know, like when you go and buy jewellery, normally it don't fit and they've got to change the size and or they haven't got the right size or whatever it is. And this was the ring that she picked was the last one of that kind. And the woman behind the counter said, well, I'll take it out, try it on. What size do you think you are? She said, I don't know. And I put it on her finger and it was perfect. Just perfect. So, yeah, that was it, really. That's the most romantic. There's probably other things, but things that I can think about right at this time.
I can remember one thing that I did for Alana that quickly sprang to mind is, well, there's two things. I was going to propose to her in England, and I had the proposal all sorted. But then we got married in Canada rather than getting engaged. We got married. But the engagement was all set up. I had a private pod on Millennium Eye. And we were going to go up just as the Christmas lights were getting turned on in Oxford Street. So London would have lit up, blah, blah, blah. But what I did do for her, and I tried to keep it as a surprise, but I blew it. And the way I blew it is that only I could do this. I was very, very fortunate that my cousin at the time, his job was Hilton, the Hilton Hotel on the Park Lane. They've got a Michelin star restaurant on the 28th floor called Galvin at the Windows. And he was manager of that. So I was able, obviously, I was like, Andrew, do me a favour. It's going to be her birthday. It's her first birthday in England. And first birthday will be celebrated as husband and wife, or her birthday, should I say. We got married on mine. I was like, can I come to the restaurant and get a night? He goes, leave it with me. Also paid for a room. And it was all going to be a surprise. And I got a manicure, pedicure in the day, and then tickets to a musical she wanted to see, all of that. And it was all going to be a surprise. And she kept going to me, what are we doing for my birthday? What are we doing for my birthday? It's like, not telling you, not telling you. And it came to her birthday, and no one else knew apart from me and my cousin. No one. And she goes, Brian, you do know I know what we're doing for my birthday today. And she goes, what's that? She told me word for word what we were doing. I was like, how the fuck do you know that? No one knows. I apparently told her in my sleep. I was sleep talking. And I told her the whole day.
Oh, no, man.
I slept talk Only Fools and Horses episodes. I sleep talk random things. But I didn't tell a single person what was going on. But she found out a few days before because I told her the whole day for no apparent reason in my sleep.
Oh, no.
It was on your mind, Brian, wasn't it? Obviously.
Hey, this is what I do. I finish with girls that ask me to pick Spurs Arsenal over them, and I tell the love of my life massive surprises in my sleep. So
you scratched yourself up, man.
I'm a catch. And look, if I was single now, wouldn't this be a great Tinder profile picture?
Oh yeah,
this would be ravishing.
Did you actually say it all though, Brian, or was it a question of you might have just mumbled something and she was like, oh yeah, and then what are we doing? And you'd be like, then we're doing this, and then what are we doing?
Mate,
and then where are we going?
I don't know how the she's like, you told me the whole thing. But I was like, I haven't actually asked this. If she comes in, she's gone out, I'll ask her. But I don't know how I started that conversation because I was in my sleep. I do sleep talk occasionally. And it's like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was trying to keep it such a secret that I just couldn't handle it. And I was letting it out in the one place that I shouldn't have. But just madness.
Yeah, but they still don't understand this day how the brain works, do they? Not really.
My brain is a very, very medical. When I've got medical research, will be done on my brain.
Interesting.
The most romantic thing I've done is, oh God, I don't know. My first wife, I arranged a surprise 30th birthday for her. This isn't romantic. I'm not really a romantic person, I don't think. But yeah, again, very much similar. I kept it quiet. I didn't tell anyone. It was at a local like place. It was a really nice place, but at the time it was one of those where you could, as long as you filled it up and bought enough beer, then you get it for free. But you had to buy a certain amount. You had to pay like £2,000 or £3,000 over the bar over a night to get it for nothing. Anyways, made this surprise party and yeah, actually managed to do it and it was brilliant. But then about 2 weeks later we broke up. So yeah, seemed a bit of a waste, but it was good at the time. But other than that, I haven't really done a lot of romantic things. Maybe sums up while I'm single. Maybe.
Yeah. I'll stick with my first answer.
Go on then. What about this one? What food do you irrationally judge people for liking?
Easy for me. Baked beans.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just wrong. They're just wrong.
Baked beans are great.
No, horrible,
I like
mate.
baked beans.
Tomatoes for me. Can't stand tomatoes.
Love
I just don't like them.
Love
And
tomatoes.
when I see people eating them and the texture of them, especially when they're tinned tomatoes as well, I just don't like the look of them.
She goes on to ask her 1 second. Honey, can you come here for 1 second? You don't need to come on camera, but I need you to answer a question. Yeah.
Okay.
Big up Lana.
One of the questions came up where it was, I was talking about when I arranged to go to the Hilton for your birthday, and you
sleep.
How did I? This one. How did I?
What words you said?
No, I don't know the words I said, but did I just start talking and then you said, and then what, or did I just come out and blast the whole
You
thing?
were talking and I was egging you on, trying like asking you questions.
Okay, so you were asking questions.
Yeah.
And I responded to them like I responded to them like I was awake.
Yeah, you do that often.
I'm so special. I'm such a special case. Thank you, darling. I'm such a special case. So apparently, I won't do good under interrogation in my sleep. I might do better when I'm awake.
Brilliant.
Mate, there is a food. Since I've moved to Canada, I'm very, very open to trying new foods. I'm like, I'll try and eat anything, and there's weird combinations and everything. But there is one food that you could offer me £1 million and I wouldn't go anywhere near it. The thought of it repulses me. Just saying it. The most disgusting food on this planet is cottage cheese. And anyone that likes it, it is the most vile.
Yes.
It's no.
Yeah, it's not for me. I've got to say.
No.
Yeah, I don't eat it
at all.
No, I don't eat it either.
Mate, it's the consistency, it's the look of it. It's yeah. I can't.
No, can't say I've had it before, to be honest with you. But cottage cheese,
No.
I have heard of it and I have seen it. It's not my thing.
No.
Yeah.
It's just baked beans for me. I can't stand them.
Oh, lovely.
Honestly, if I've lived with somebody or whatever, and I'm doing the washing up, and they've had baked beans, I can't even touch a plate, man. It's ugh. But tinned tomatoes, Mark, lovely,
Oh no,
lovely, man.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm a bit fussy with me food anyway. I've got to say, there's loads of stuff that people eat on a regular basis. Do you know what I mean? Even in here, and I wouldn't eat it, but it just.
Well, I'll be honest, mate. From what you've told me, you've been on that weight loss jab thing. You ain't ate for like about 3 months.
Well, I've started eating again now.
Yeah.
Only off a small plate though. I can't be doing the big plate stuff again. You know what I mean? Lisa done a bit of spaghetti bolognese yesterday, and I just had a little bit on a little plate.
Yeah.
You know? Lovely, and it was enough. You just get used to not eating loads, man. It's good.
No. But we shouldn't be talking about food really, because what you've done, mate, is how much have you lost now? 6 stone?
No, 4 stone, 11. I think, just short of 5 stone.
No, I thought it was more than that, mate.
No, I've put a bit back on because I haven't been on it for 3 weeks.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. It was just about 5 stone, but I put on about 3 or 4 pounds.
Well done, bro. Well done.
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I am chuffed.
Good. As for food for me, I don't like things like avocado and that kind of thing. I've never really eaten it, but it just looks grim.
It looks good. Avocado is gorgeous.
Is it?
Avocado is gorgeous.
What do you have it with then?
Well, the question is, what food do you irrationally judge people for liking?
Judge people.
Yes, or what?
Truffle.
Truffles, cottage cheese. I judge you. She loves it.
Yeah. So avocado for me, I'm not sure what you'd eat it with.
No,
See people put it on toast and stuff, and I'm just like,
man, I tell you what, an incredible sandwich, chicken. A lot of sandwich shops, not like prep. You don't really go to those independent shops, and they'll chicken, bacon, and avocado, and it's something like in mayonnaise. Oh, mate, unbelievable.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a go.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna give it a go. Okay, so here's one. See if you can think of one. Conspiracy theories you believe. Are there any out there? So I think 9/11 no actually happened. I don't see how the buildings fell on their own. I think there was like an inside job somewhere.
Yeah, that's always a massive one that comes up, isn't it?
No, the metal in the buildings, at the 9/11 buildings, apparently only burnt once it got to a certain temperature. The building was the inside of the metal stanchions that were built inside the building. Yeah, this is only from what I've watched. Could only sustain a certain temperature before
they melt,
the
don't
building
they?
would collapse.
Yeah.
I get that if it hit the bottom, but it hit up.
Yeah.
So I understand the top bit toppling off or something, but not the rest of it going down.
Yeah, to me,
I get where you're coming. Yeah.
I can even remember watching it live. You've got to remember, the year before that, I'd been in New York and I stood on top of one of them buildings. You know, and when it came down, it sort of just went straight down. It was like, it almost looked like, you know, when you see a demolition,
I was just going to say that.
Straight down. It looked like that. And I thought that, because them bloody things were massive, man. I stood on the roof of one of them, and it's bloody high up there, man. And for it to come, they were 1,400 foot or so, for it to come straight down like that, it's like you said, Nige, because the planes went in one went in halfway up and one went in near the top. You would have thought that the top might have fell off or something, but not the whole bloody building to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I sort of believe that, definitely, the 9/11 one.
I don't, Joe. I don't
about aliens.
I don't buy into. Also, I mean, there's certain things, like for example, I don't know if it's considered a conspiracy theory. I don't think Diana's accident was a accident.
No,
at all.
Yeah, There's another one.
That was a hit.
Mhm.
The other, mate, there's massive ones around COVID, isn't there?
Yeah.
I believe COVID was real and blah blah blah, but I think this was manufactured by. It was an outbreak of something they were testing, and it got out as opposed to it all of a sudden because someone ate a bat. So those two are like two main ones. Don't get me wrong. I believe I had COVID. People have lost their lives. It was a genuine thing. I don't think a lot of people say it's media based and could be governments, could be whatever. But I think I think it was an error getting out. It weren't from a bat, and 100%, Diana was a hit, not an accident.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I
with
agree with that.
Did anyone else quickly, just going on to race car spell? Anyone else sat there been like race car spelled backwards, race car, and spell it
I
backwards,
did that just a minute ago.
I've seen his name a million times. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other conspiracy theories? I find the pyramids really interesting because they reckon there's like loads and loads of like stuff underneath it, don't they?
Yeah. I'm not. The only thing I'd say about the pyramids, when you see all these things about they were built by aliens and all that, I think it's very much disrespecting the people from like 2,500 years ago, or whenever they were built, 3,000 years ago. They were cleverer than what we give them credit for, you know. So you see Stonehenge. Hey, sorry.
Some of these ancient buildings that you see in like the jungle and stuff, like they're absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
How did they make them?
Yeah, exactly. And yet, things like the pyramids that have been there, what, 4,000 years, 3,000? I don't know when they were built, but it's a long time ago. I think that us now, we always think that people back then were like simple, living in mud huts, you know? We don't give them enough credit. You know, and if like the pyramids and Stonehenge and that, that's by us, Nige, you know, if they can't explain how they bloody done the stuff, oh, it must have been aliens. You know what I mean? They must have had like higher help. You know, it's not giving people enough credit. They were very clever, all those people back then.
Wow, yeah, they must have been. But
you know, and a lot of stuff.
Aliens are to blame for everything.
You know, and a lot of stuff that they've done, we can't even do now. You know, and so I think we discredit them. To be honest, how sort of clever they were.
You're quite matter of fact about this kind of thing, aren't you, Mark?
Yeah.
You kind of like you believe in science and like there's a
Well, I
reason.
am. Yeah.
Mm. Whereas I'm a bit more like, ooh, ghosties. Ooh.
No. I've told you before. No, all that ghosty, spooky nonsense is a load of rubbish. There's no scientific evidence that ghosts exist.
Still believe.
Not one little bit, mate. We'll put it this way, mate. If we all turned into ghosts when we cark it, right? How many ghosts do you think could be wandering about? It'd be bloody billions.
I don't necessarily think we turn into ghosts. I just think
we're not going to need the congestion charge.
Well, yeah, and all right, and we're living creatures. So where's all the animal ghosts? Because they're the same as us. They're made of the same stuff.
Yeah, but as you said before, we're all made of matter, aren't we? Like electrolytes and stuff like that. So there's got to be like imprints and. But yeah, Mark, you got to go, Cook. You're feeling.
Yeah, you're all right, chaps. I'm just getting a bit sore. Is that all right?
No worries, brother.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Thanks, chaps. Thanks for having me on, Nige. Brian, I'll speak to you
later,
soon.
brother.
I hope you feel better, man. Sheriff, I'll speak to you tomorrow, mate, and Nige as well. Chat.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. This show's great, man. It makes me laugh so much. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Like and subscribe to the Two Mark Show, guys.
Cheers, Stephen Hawking.
Cheers, chat. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Mr. Hawking.
See you later on. Thank you.
Take care, mate. Okay, let's find another question. Okay, let's ask Brian this one because he wasn't on when we've asked this before. So, Brian, a Tottenham player that you've loved but that was really underrated.
Oof. Do you know what? I'm going to go with my guy. I absolutely adored and think he could have been such a top player, or was, and was so underrated. And of course, injuries got to him. I absolutely loved Tom Huddleston.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely adored him. Do you know what? One of the best and most powerful shots you'll see. One of the best passing ranges we've had since Glenn Hoddle. He was just, he had his injuries, but if we'd had if he'd been at his peak in a Poch team or what, I honestly, he could have been. I thought he was criminally underrated, and I absolutely adored him. So yeah, Tommy Huddleston for sure.
Some facts there, Brian.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree
Loved
with
him.
that. It was
I used to rate him as well.
Joshua?
No, well, I used to rate Tommy Huddleston. Just like he scored some banging goals. Just like Brian said, the passing range. Like, oh, yeah. And another one that I used to rate, and everyone used to tell him to shoot all the time, was Stefan Freud.
Oh,
Never scored for us, but I went to loads of games when he was playing. Every time he got the ball, shoot! No matter if it was like in our half.
Yeah.
if I had to go earlier, Nigel, you'll both remember. I think a player back in the 80s, 90s that was criminally underrated as well was Paul Allen.
Yeah.
Absolute
Superstar.
workhorse, ran his socks off. But that was like just as I started watching Spurs. But yeah, Tommy Huddleston.
Huddleston was a good player.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and Paul Allen scored important goals as well.
Yeah.
He
Super
did.
sub, wasn't he?
Important goals.
Super sub.
But yeah, I'd agree with this as well. Tony Galvin. I used to love Tony Galvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good winger. Mickey Hazard was a great player too.
Yeah,
But
he
for
was.
me, I'd go with someone like. I used to love like Steve Sedgley. Steve Sedgley, David Howells. I think they're massively underrated. But yeah. Adrian saying John Pratt. I can't remember John Pratt as much. I can remember the name, but
I know I'm old, but fucking hell.
Oh, we are pretty much that old, mate. Come on. But yeah, okay. Let's get another Spurs question up.
Let's do it.
So this is going to be. I wrote it down here earlier. Where is it? Where is it?
That's it, mate. You got so many banners, you can't believe.
I know. So summer, Ange goes. Who comes in, and who's your first signing?
Well, is this going to be like what I do or what the club does?
What you do.
Well, after today, I'm going to say Oliver Glasner, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you've only got to look at how Palace played. Is that the Spurs way? What is the Spurs way anymore? Losing every week? That seems to be the Spurs way now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
So, I mean, you only had to look today. Palace. Man City had 78% of the ball. Palace only had 22%. But it's that little scoreline in the top left that matters. That's all that matters. You know, they did what they had to do. And you could see the way they were set up. As soon as a Man City player got the ball anywhere near their goal, like Man City did some good stuff and sort of got close to their goal. but they had to play well to pass through them. But as soon as if they took more than half a second, one of the pass players was on them. Block shots. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. So I'm going for Glasner. And my first signing would be Eze. What will the club do? The club will probably get someone unheard of that's cheap, and our first signing will still be at school. Because that's what the club does these days. We built the new stadium for nothing, really. Turned it into a sick form.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, listen, I'm Glasner has obviously apparently been touted, and obviously after an FA Cup win, I'd be delighted with him. But what? Cheers, Richards, brother. We'll catch up soon, buddy. We'll catch up soon. Maybe I will, mate. But you know what it is, Richards? I need to change this 4 times a day. But I might do that Wednesday on the way to the yard. I might do. Good idea, brother. I'm going to stick now. Obviously, this Spurs fan base that obviously criticise people like us that obviously know so much shouldn't have got on his slot. They're in a Farmers League. Shouldn't have got Glasner. Farmers League. Shouldn't get Eze. He's not good enough for Spurs. I want the man that I wanted before Ange Postecoglou, and it'll be the man I wanted after Ange Postecoglou. And I want Thomas Frank. I absolutely adore him. And the thing that makes me laugh is when I say Thomas Frank, people react in the YouTube comments or the comments after the show and go, you want Frank? I just done the double over him. He's shit. I was like, oh, shit, is he? Would I rather our manager do the double over a team or be 9 points and 17 points and 9 places in the league ahead of them? Thomas Frank changes his game plan. Thomas Frank has also had to deal with losing a star striker in Tony and Raya the year before. He coaches players better. He's absolutely phenomenal with the media. And he's doing everything he does, like players like Wissa and Mbeumo and others. Wissa is on 25 grand a week.
Crazy.
20. So, you look at it, and people want to say, yeah, he's not good enough for Tottenham. He works on a shoestring budget, but succeeds. Players love him. But because Ange done the double over him, he's not good enough for Spurs. But apparently 17 points and 9 places higher doesn't make a difference because Ange done the double over him. And the first player will be the player that I wanted over Maddison. It'll be Eberechi Eze.
Well, let's face it, Brian. If he came to Tottenham, he'd still be on a shoestring budget.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
this is what
exactly.
But his shoestring budget would be a little bit bigger. He'd be able to attract better players. He'd coach players to become better. Brentford are going to finish in the top half this season.
Yeah.
But I will say a couple of people just said Paulinho would be a very good shout, actually, because we need it. That'd be a very good shout. But I wanted Eze. People will know. Big up, audio. People know my love for Morgan Gibbs-White and Eberechi Eze over James Maddison. But yeah, I would go for Eze.
Oh, and I missed Neat. Well, I'm not in charge of the comments, so I can't do nothing. But Nita said, I think that's meant to be Gary Mabbott.
Gary Mabbott.
Is that the first signer? Yes, we got a lot in common, my dear.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, he's only got half a toe or something. So I don't think he'd last very long.
No, I kind of agree with Brian with Thomas Frank, but my fear is, and it's not a fear for Tottenham at all, but one of my closest friends is a Brentford season ticket holder. In fact, the whole family are Brentford season ticket holders. Lovely family. And my fear is if we got Frank, that Brentford would go down. I don't think they'd last much longer in the Premier League. So I think Frank is the reason why they are so good. You know, I agree. I think he's a great manager. What he do at Spurs, I don't know. I've been banging on the Terzic drum for months and months, but right now I would take Glasner in a heartbeat. And my first signing would be very much the same. Eze, I wanted him all last year, and I still want him now. Even more,
So-
but I don't think we get him now because I think after today, there's probably 20, 25 million added to his price.
Someone else we haven't mentioned. Now he has done wonders with the size of the club. Is Iriola at Bournemouth?
Still
Now
take
I've always got to go very careful what I say because Bournemouth's only down the road from me. I don't want another fans knocking on my door. But for the size of the club, I'm not being disrespectful. But for the size of the club that Bournemouth is, you got to remember the whole ground fits in our south stand
Yep.
with space to spare.
Yeah.
You know, and what they've done as a club and that manager, Eddie Howe took them a long way on their path, but what Iriola has done as well, just for them to be in the Premier League is a damn miracle. To be honest, it really is. For the size of the club they are, the bloody Yeovil's ground nearly holds what Bournemouth's is what 12,500.
something like that.
Yeah, bloody Yeovil's ground is 9,000, I think. So it's not too bloody far behind it.
They've made some really good signings, haven't they?
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
recruitment has been really good.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I
mean, right, they get rid of Solanke and they bring in that Evan Nielsen.
Exactly.
Them.
Yeah.
They remember they took Nathan Ake on loan and he was doing brilliant. They got his move to Manchester City. Then look what's just happened with Heisen to they've taken from two players, they've taken 65 mil off us, or it will accumulate to that. They've taken 110 million. And the thing is, their owners will invest it back in the team and back a manager, back their recruitment to go get the job done. That's where we obviously struggle with their recruitment. Bournemouth are incredible. Bournemouth and Brentford, if you go look at their owners and what they do for the community, what they do for the manager, how they make them, how they give all their faith to the owners, manager. It's there. You know, I mean, even we're talking about it in the Tottenham Tour group chat last Saturday, and I said the Newcastle owners. I watched the Newcastle documentary because I think it's a brilliant documentary, but it makes me sick within the first 10 minutes because the owner says about three things that would make Levy a god or make Levy look like he's doing. And one of the questions is, how much interaction do you have in the day-to-day football? He turns around and goes, 0. He goes, I'm chairman of many things, and I know many things about business. I know nothing about football. If I was going to have day-to-day, I might as well sack everyone. And he goes, I'm here to help the manager. They ask what I give them what I can, and I let them deal with the recruitment. It's a different world. And Bournemouth and Brentford, especially Brentford, and the thing with Brentford as well, the incentives they do for their fans. Like this thing they're doing, you got to remember, they don't have the money we have or the reach we do, whatever. They're starting a scheme. I don't know if it's just started or starting next season. Any kid, 10 years or under, if you're a home fan or away fan, you're paying £10 for your ticket. That's it. That's it. £10 for anyone under 10. Cheers, Eugene. It's literally they are a wonderfully run community club, beautifully run, and same with Bournemouth.
Yeah, and Brighton.
Brighton, yeah, but Brighton are a well-run club because of Bloom. But I don't know too much about what Brighton do within the community. Obviously, their scouting is great, but if you read up on Brentford, my God, they are an incredibly run, family first, community first. Let's get the fans of tomorrow in today. Blah blah blah. They're an outstanding football club.
It's what you're saying then, the complete opposite of our club.
Yeah. Yeah.
The complete opposite. Because let's face it, our owner, doesn't matter whether you're 1 or 100, you pay the same money you coming in there. That's it. Please go in the club shop before and empty your wallet. And please buy all the food and all the rest of it and come to the concerts and whatever else goes on there. It's nonsense, man. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's get back to, let's have a couple more questions before we wrap it up. So, Brian, I think we asked this a couple of weeks ago, but you weren't here. So, dinner party, invite 4 famous guests, alive or dead. Who are they?
Do you know what? This is one of my icebreakers when I'm with my team. But I actually asked for this, but I have 6 guests, so now I'm going to have to trim mine. Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Just because he's God.
I reckon I know another one.
Michael Jackson. Nice. Frank Sinatra. Just because my grandma was absolutely obsessed with him. Like, had literally all his stuff, like everything. And when I was learning to dance, the 2-step or whatever we started to go to, my grandma taught me to Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson, Paul Gascoigne, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. There's your 4.
I knew that one, Brian.
I don't know why that didn't come out first, to tell you the truth. I was just thinking, the other people I have on my list is Pink, because I've just got this obsession with her. I honestly, for both her musical talents and other talents. And who was the other one I had? Nelson Mandela.
Okay, nice.
Nelson Mandela. But if I had to trim it to 4, Gaza, The Rock, Frank Sinatra, Michael Jackson.
No, I got to be consistent now. I can't remember what I said the last time.
Can you?
I was possibly too drunk the last time.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said either.
No. So me and you were struggling, mate.
We'll just start again. It's a new question.
Okay. Glenn Hoddle, definitely. Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
Mabs would have to be there, my hero. It's not Tottenham related though, is it? It can be anybody.
Yeah.
There's got to be a couple of women there, surely.
I'll be Bangles lead singer.
Of course. Susanna Hoffs, and maybe let's think another one. Choices. It's either Blondie, Debbie Harry, or Wendy James from Transvision Vamp.
Yeah, she was fit back in the day.
Well, she wasn't too bad.
She just looked dirty, didn't she?
Yeah, I'm going to go for.
That was pretty fun.
I'm going to go for Wendy James from Transvision Vamp.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
Fair dues. Lisa said Eminem, Jamie Dornan, Gaza, and Toby Alderweireld. I can't believe me or you aren't in the show. Shocking.
But to be honest, I don't quite believe she left your son out of it.
I know.
Me and you wouldn't be even on the guest list, mate.
No, we're not even a thought.
No.
But mine would be Mila Kunis, just beautiful. Probably Teddy Sheringham, Michael Hutchins, and maybe Freddie Mercury.
Oh, that's a great shout.
That would be my thought.
I'm not into that, by the way.
Freddie Mercury is a great. I love Queen. Freddie Mercury is a great shout.
Yeah. Or even Elton John, just to find out about his life, because I just find him really interesting.
Yeah.
I've just seen what Lisa's put in the chat.
Fair dues. I'll let him know. He's never had a MILF before. Bless him. Okay. Okay. Again, another one for Brian, because I think we answered this a couple of weeks ago. TV series you can watch again and again.
So many. But the first one that comes to my mind is Only Fools and Horses,
I knew you were going to say that.
without a doubt. But
Yeah.
I also love, against another BBC show. Do people remember the show about the con artist Hustle?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
show was absolutely fantastic. But they're Only Fools and Horses. But there's a couple. I mean, another show that I've got so many people to watch is a show called This Is Us. It's a drama, but it goes back in the past. Present. It's wonderfully written. It's a tearjerker. It's an incredible TV show. But there are loads. Oh, another one that I make sure I watch regularly. If people have seen this on Netflix, Designated Survivor. Designated Survivor is one hell of a goddamn show. I love it.
I'll have to watch that.
I'll tell you what I got into years ago watching.
Mate, you'd love. Well, 1 second. Designated Survivor. Have you heard? You know what it's about?
No.
Right. So I didn't know that this was actually a thing in America, but Designated Survivor is Kiefer Sutherland, who's the main guy. But when America does the State of the Union every year, where all the MPs, I don't know what you call them, but all the houses, they all go to the houses of their version, the Capitol, and they read out the objectives, the plans, the summary. Anyway, the government have a thing called the Designated Survivor, where they get someone who's low down the pecking order, not like a major player, and they put them somewhere. The president picks a Designated Survivor, and they put them somewhere safe, away from there, should there be a terrorist attack on the Capitol and everyone dies. So that happens, and that guy, Kiefer Sutherland, then becomes the president. He's literally a nobody 1 minute. The next minute, he's the United States of America having to rebuild the country. It is just, honestly, it is I cannot begin to... It's on Netflix. I will tell you now, it's one of those shows that if you watch one episode, you know, you're like, one more before bed. One more. There's been 3 seasons. The first 2 have got about 20 episodes each. They're absolutely fucking awesome. The twists, you don't see everything. But then the 3rd season they did, Netflix took it over, and it was only 12 episodes. It was still good, but nowhere near as good as the first 2. And then they stopped it. But I cannot tell you. In fact, I'm going to send you the trailer on WhatsApp now. It's absolutely fucking brilliant.
Cool. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the trouble with American series, whatever you call them. Over here, a season would be like 6 episodes. In America, there's like 20, 24.
Oh, it's
so
brilliant.
I say what I got into watching, it was all on, it was either Amazon Prime or Netflix. All of the, bloody hell, come on. I had it in my head. X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
I started watching the first season. Well, I clicked on it and I thought, yeah, I'll watch this. The first season's got 24 episodes or something. And I thought, Jesus. And they're like 50 minutes each. I think I got to, there's loads of seasons, whatever you want to call it. But I think I got to about the 3rd season. Just after spending like 4 days constantly watching it. And I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. But I used to love the X-Files.
Yeah, that's the only trouble, isn't it, with a lot of these series?
Yeah.
I like to see an end. That's why I really like watching the I don't know if you guys have seen the Reacher series. Like
Oh,
there's 3
mate,
seasons.
mate,
I love Reacher.
mate. Season 1 was phenomenal, absolutely fucking epic. Season 2, I don't think it was as good, but season 3 was mind blowing. Was incredible.
Yeah, but there's an end to it. You know that at the end of it he's going to walk away, but there's still an
Yeah.
end to it. And yeah, that's what I love it.
I
Absolutely.
mean, Nita as well. Me and you have got so much in common. Shameless. Shameless was absolutely brilliant. I used to
you look
love
at
that show.
Lisa's got obviously Line of Duty. That was absolutely fucking brilliant.
That was good. Yeah.
But then obviously Friends I can watch over. One that I cannot stop watching at the moment. I loved Fraser. I loved Fraser. But one of the shows, if I'm ever in a stupid mood, I'm like, do you know what? I just need cheering up, and I just need to fall asleep to, and I just want to laugh. You can never go wrong with the In-Betweeners.
See, I never got into that. I used to.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I watched bits of it, but Shameless, what Nita said, I used to love that. Absolutely. I think that's on. Is it Prime? All of them are on one of them, Prime on Netflix. Definitely, because I've been watching. Typical me, I can't remember what the hell's going on.
Mate, another good one. Obviously, I love the original. They've just done an LA one, which is crap, but Suits is brilliant.
Yeah.
Suits is absolutely fucking brilliant. It's filmed here in Toronto, or was filmed here in Toronto.
Isn't Meghan Markle in Suits?
Yeah. But you know the funniest thing about it, I never knew. I mean, the Scotland Yard has been in loads of movies. It gets used a lot in movies, the Scotland Yard. But so funny. When I started watching Suits, I started watching it in England with Alana. She's like, "Oh, you'll love it." But we started watching it, then obviously I became obsessed. I didn't realise for ages that it was in Toronto. When we moved here, I was in Toronto, and then obviously they make everything look like New York when they're out on the street and everything. And they did this thing. Yes, Giddy Habs. I had to have nasal surgery on Monday. Suits were doing an episode. I was just watching it. I was like, oh my God, you idiots. So I was watching an episode of Suits, and Harvey and whoever was just there having a conversation. And just across the road from them, the Canada version of a Royal Mail van pulled up alongside it. So they're filming live, and then you just saw this Canada Post delivery van. I was just like, I saw it because I recognised it, obviously. You wouldn't realise it if you weren't paying attention. I looked at it, I was like, oh dear. Oh dear, you better be in New York and there's a Canada Post van right in the middle of your shot.
Did that actually go out on TV?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. Mate, well, this is what happened. When I was back in England for a year, whenever I'm in Toronto, like I miss England. Oh, sorry, I don't miss England at all. I miss my family, my nieces and my nephews. I miss my friends, the Spurs crowd, and little bits of home. I don't miss England. When I'm in England, oh boy, do I miss Canada. Oh boy, do I miss Toronto, and not just the people, blah, blah, blah. So when I was getting really, really homesick, when I was there for the year, I started watching Suits and other things that had Toronto on it, not to watch the show, just to see parts of Toronto. I love this city. I absolutely love this city.
Yeah. I think Canada is probably the one place in the world, and I've been saying it for years, not just now, but I've been saying it for years. Canada is the one place I love to go, just to
Mate.
see like the Rockies, and just to be not necessarily in with nature, because bears terrify me, but just to be able to be in a log cabin and watch a bear walk past. I know that probably doesn't happen in the city.
Well, I'll tell you, Nigel, that where you're talking about is about 2,500 miles away from where I am.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
It's about but what I will say, mate, and I say it to all my close friends, if you ever want to come out, all you need is your airfare and spending money. There's a spare room here. Nice, lodging is free.
Nice,
I'll take you all around Toronto. I'll take you to the Scotland Yard, obviously. CN Tower, Niagara Falls, yada, 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 yada. Whenever you want, mate, this room, which I'm currently in right now, is your bedroom whenever you want it.
From now.
Live from the top. Mud and the Pub Nudge, live from the Tottenham on Tour studio.
Yeah.
I know.
Do that.
I know.
Could do that.
Big fortune. Yeah,
I was going to say, I'm definitely going to Toronto. Like, probably a year. Next year's World Cup, innit?
Yeah, if you're going to come to Canada, you don't want to come around summertime because everything is going to be quadruple, treble the price.
Yeah, it's World Cup, innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I might leave it because I don't want to go there when it's minus 40.
Yeah, don't come between December and February.
No. Anytime outside due south. Yeah, I remember that.
Remember it.
That was about a mountain, wasn't it? There was a.
Yeah, but listen, what I didn't even realise this as well. Scott M's in the building. Scott M, what a brilliant! Big up, brother. There are what I didn't realise this because obviously being in England and blah, but Scott testifies as well. There are so many movies and TV shows that are led to make you think they're in America or whatever that are filmed here in Canada because obviously it's cheaper than filming in New York or filming and closing down. There is so much that you see in movies and TV where you think, oh, it's in America. Where no, it's Canada.
Yeah. But the only there's a few. Well, there's no TV series been filmed in my town, but like Broadchurch was filmed down the road from me. You know the one with Doctor Who.
What a show!
Yeah, Broadchurch was filmed. It's a place called West Bay, and it's like way up along the coast a bit. And I went down there when they were filming it, and I saw matey that did matey that was Doctor Who.
Anytime, Lisa. Yeah. Anytime, darling.
Yeah, so let's see if we've got any more questions. Not sure we have, actually. That could be it. Okay, so let's just end on Tottenham again. And I just want to know, guys, are we going to be celebrating on Wednesday night? Or is it going to be another night of pain and another year of...
We better bloody be.
I'm not doing the predictions for this. I'm not doing it because we all do it and go, oh yeah, we're gonna win, there's no better time to... It's like, oh yeah, well, look what happened. No, I'm not jinxing it. I'm not. It's not because I don't think we're not gonna win. I'm doing I've made sure to not run my mouth at Arsenal, even though we're in the final, because if we lose it's gonna come back at us. I'm not falling into this running. No, I'm not. I just we go so long going, yeah, we're going to beat them, and then it's like,
no,
yeah, I just can't do it.
No, how many?
We won't make.
Well,
how many what?
What was the question? Are we going to win?
Yes. Is it going to be a night of joy or a night of pain?
Please, that's all I'm saying. Please, just let's win something. It's been bloody 18 years, man. And let's face it, I'm not disrespecting any trophy, but that was only a League Cup. It's been 34 years since the FA Cup, a thing that we won regularly when I was a kid, teenager, in 20. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Surely the torch has got to end soon, and we'll actually win something. It's got to. It's got to. It's like I said, the odds. It's got to be the odds. The odds, because let's face it, for the last at least 17 years, the law of averages says we've got to win one. Know what I mean? It can't.
Yep.
We just can't. Well, if we don't win Wednesday, I honestly believe that the club is cursed. There's some sort of curse on it.
Quite possibly.
There must be.
Quite possibly. All right, guys. Well, we will leave it there. Thank you to everybody that's joined in the chat. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for the sheriff as always. Thank you for Brian coming on.
Pleasure, brother.
Please, before we go, please make sure you subscribe to the Two Mark Show. And also, please make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to Tottenham on Tour. We will leave it there and we will see you next week. Have a great rest of weekend. Have a nice lie-in. And as always, stay
Levy
positive, stay poised.
Oh, hang on. No. You got to let Brian end it.
No, it's his show, but I will always say, and as always, Levy out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all good. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
There is no more at the pub, just good chat, debate, and love. There is no more at the pub, so make sure you lock and sub.